We need to stop for a break. We've been walking for hours.
I think it's days.
You need to find food first. And shelter. Hold strong, comrades!
Drop that comrade crap. My feet hurt.
Hey, it wasn't our idea to get off the bus.
Listen, it wasn't safe.
In the rain.
I'm telling you, there were spies on that bus. Maybe even more cinema assassins.
How? How could they have known we were on that bus? Thought they all died in that restaurant explosion.
That old couple in the back have been looking at us funny since Albuquerque.
Oh, come on. You also said that about the truckers in Tucson.
And the Girl Scouts in Gallup.
And the furries in Flagstaff.
In Scrutinizer Zachariah's defense, they did seem rather surly.
Because he jumped in one of their laps and took a selfie. They weren't even on the bus.
It was a calculated maneuver to throw them off. You can't be too careful. The High Council has eyes everywhere.
Oh, yes, quite. Certainly we are safe here alone with each other. You know, old friends.
Holy shit! You're still with us? Then here, hold my bags.
Yes, sir.
Where the bloody hell are we, anyway?
3 miles east of the middle of fucking nowhere.
The last sign we passed said Hooker, Oklahoma.
You'd like that, wouldn't you, you filthy codger?
What's that building up there, far side of this parking lot?
That, my fellows, smells like an opportunity. Onward!
Smells like gasoline and formaldehyde.
I know, it's making me nostalgic.
How could you smell it this far away?
Put that paper bag down.
What is this place?
It's a museum or something. Look at all this art.
The incredibly meaningful but obscure museum of incredibly obscure but meaningful art of obscure meaning.
How did you know that?
Oh, well, you see it says so on the sign over the door.
Oh, I can't argue with that.
Check it out. These gifts don't even animate.
Stop prodding the paintings, you gen toddler.
We're safe for now, and dry. I suppose this is as good a time as any to hold our next conclave.
Oh, hey, check this piece out. See how there's like 50 layers of paint and bits of junk all piled on. Almost like the artist is trying to make it hard to understand what the hell is really going on. It puts me in mind of Angel's Egg, a dense and impenetrable Japanese animated movie filled with impossible imagery and layers upon layers of meaning.
And you want to subject us to all this?
Well, an abandoned museum full of crumbling artifacts? Can't let such a significant setting go to waste.
I do have to say the aesthetic does have something going for it.
Oh, you and your fucking aesthetics.
Seriously, how do you swipe right on these things?
Oh, shut up. Somewhere near the middle of nowhere America, past the abandoned coat room of a museum that no one remembers and fewer liked to begin with, beyond the incredibly significant coffee table and the styrofoam block of meaning, a secret society huddles around a cell phone flashlight, desperately dodging the deep deceptions and draconian dictates of a global conspiracy to scrutinize those films which are rumored to drive viewers to madness and dissolution, and maybe dry off their soggy togs and find something to eat. Draw closer, dear listener. Let your trembling ears sup upon the eldritch knowledge of the Cinemania Society.
We the fellows of the lens palm do convene to judge if this cinema worthy of our esteem, or whether it should be cast down as worthless hokum. Let us start our friends in judgment.
We the fellows... Oh.
Welcome, fellow fleeing felons, to this conclave of the Cinemania Society.
Hang on, I don't have my gavel. Clonk.
And welcome to our listeners, to whom I will now issue this warning. We disciples of the Cinemania Society have studied the mysteries of the motion picture and meditated upon the silver screen for many years. Therefore, we have become inured to the films we scrutinize, which may contain hazards unsuitable to young and sensitive ears. As such, we advise anyone listening to do so with discretion. Guard your ears carefully, lest you develop a severe and irreversible case of Cinemania. Present at our conclave tonight are
Inquisitor Ethan, keeper of the lenses.
Scrutinizer Zachariah, guardian of the door.
Auntie Hope, previously known as Keeper of the Books.
Professor Andrea, scholar of San Francisco.
Repositor Andre, voice from the outer world.
And Verifier Andy, Master Illuminator.
I am Profligator Daniel, possessor of the word. I will be serving as Pontifex of Presentment for tonight's Subjective Scrutiny. All caps. Angel's Egg, a film from 1985 directed by anime visionary Mamoru Oishii.
Anime!
I was born in 1985.
Oh, shut up. Inquisitor Ethan will act as Master Castigator for this conclave. Inquisitor Ethan, take it away.
Gladly. Charges against this film include illegal parking of giant space eyeball orbs, violence against giant eggs, contemplative navel-gazing in the first degree, lustful display of animated water surfaces, lewd presentation of chicken fetuses.
Should that be feti?
Vicious and wanton padding of runtime. Attempting to pass off panned still frames as animation. Inducing depression and catatonia in protagonists. Inducing depression and catatonia in audience. Lack of dialogue. Lack of plot. Suspicion of ripping off Ian Miller backgrounds. Abuse of French Enlightenment-era architecture. Suspicion of serving as inspiration for M. Night Shyamalan. Willful biblical misquotation for narrative purposes. Unlicensed use of a Christ figure. Reckless provocation of endless debates about Eve and meta-narrative. Cruelty to giant prehistoric shadowfish. Unreasonable expectation. The audience has been dosed with psychoactive substances in quantity sufficient to actually enjoy the film, namely 5 dried grams of psilocybin minimum, neglecting to provide said psychoactive substances to the audience. Serious trigger warnings include violence, implied misogyny, implied suicide and child mortality, and minor body horror.
Thank you, Inquisitor Ethan. Now tell us, what's this Angel's Egg business all about?
I think that list was longer than all of the dialogue in the entire movie.
Brother Zachariah, do you want to take the first go?
I'll give it a shot. All right. Brace yourself, because the original treatment for this film reads less like a movie and more like Kubrick designing a Rorschach test. First test. A first-person subjective shot that contemplates a pair of hands, the way you look at them, and when you've been ripping bongs all afternoon and you fused into a symbiotic life form with the couch. You ever look at your hands, man? Like, really look at your hands?
I mean, they call them fingers, but I never see them fing.
Yeah. This is even grosser because in the movie they're like little baby hands.
Oh, did they cast Trump?
Nice. All right. Second test. There's a chicken fetus in a transparent egg at the top of a giant tree.
Oh, did they cast Trump? Sorry, Zach. Please continue.
All right. There's something wrong with the sky, and the soundtrack is all spooky choral a la 2001 A Space Odyssey. You know the part where Dave has a bad acid trip while visiting the space-going chocolate bar? Monolith. We were forced to look at this for a full 30 seconds before we go into an XCU extreme close-up on the eye of the giant chicken fetus as it twitches in its pre-birth slumber for another 20 seconds or so. That's right. You look at that chicken fetus in the eye. You look at it. Third test. A pretty boy with a fancy military cape and loud hair stands in the middle of a prog rock album cover. He has a large T-shaped weapon slung over his shoulder. It is totally not a giant cross. Not at all. And the vehicle he exited is totally not a gigantic metallic steampunk dong. Not at all. He scans the horizon of a crimson sky in bored nonchalance. Give me a sky that red, and I'll be as chalant as hell, man.
He just doesn't have any chalance to spare at all.
Used it all up on his hair.
I lost it in the war. Chalance is the first thing to go. The first victim of war. Right. Behind him, mysterious machines reach for the sky. It's not that far out from one of Ian Miller's scorched backgrounds from Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. But it'd make for an even gnarlier jazz fusion vinyl album sleeve that still stinks of weed and patchouli.
Ah, memories. That's what my dad smelled like.
Ew.
Jeez.
Yes.
hippie.
Daddy,
Co-op I lived in.
Daddy Issues, Ascent by Hope.
Holy shit.
Patchouli, weed,
Shots
nut
fired.
I was raised by hippies
no.
too.
Not issues, just memories.
I get it.
Memories of home.
Fourth test. Are you seeing your mother yet? A giant spiky sphere with a massive stained glass eye descends from the sky like a Catholic unicorn.
No. This is a Transformers the movie reference, Zach. This is your favorite movie. Unicron.
What? Oh, you're like a Catholic. I like the Catholic unit, right?
That's the latest My Little
Catholic
Pony.
Unicorn is what you find when you're looking for a third.
Awesome.
That's what cracks me. That's what I was thinking. Unicron. I see it.
Oh, I thought that was a typo.
It's like a unicorn in a Catholic schoolgirl costume.
The couple across the pews give you that one look.
Over the sacramental wine.
Watching you while you take communion.
That's
Oh, Jesus.
when the two of you go into the confessional booth together and the priest is down.
Is down or goes down?
Hey,
Well, I mean, he's down to join you on the other side.
Is down or
room
goes
thing.
down? The answer is yes.
All right.
All right. Fourth test. Are you seeing your mother yet? A giant spiky sphere with massive stained glass eye descends from the sky like a Catholic unicron. There's no comical aliens high on Plutonian Nyborg either. No Lochnar. Sorry, folks. Wrong animated feature. No, there's just a horrific steam whistle shriek. As we zoom in, it turns out those spikes are actually millions of Greco-Roman angel statues. Significant, meaningful, very wow.
Much symbolism.
Yeah, I was going to say that meme is a little bit outdated.
Much significance. Many meaningful. Very wow.
Stale memes.
Carrying on.
All right. A girl's voice asks, and this is the first line of the movie, "Who are you?" And by this point, we're really asking ourselves, why are you? Cut to the girl, swaddled in blankets and cuddled up with a giant stonking egg. She awakens in her hideaway in some kind of tumbled-down building with a giant astrolabe that is never explained and we will never see again. So it's unclear why some poor art studio intern had to put so much time into it. She climbs to a window to look out over a cozy seaside rendezvous, sans Freddie Mercury. She contemplates this view for a full 15 seconds, I counted. Which, by the way, turns out to be a really long time.
It's so romantic. Can we do it again? Can we do it again?
No
sometime?
singing.
I like that.
No!
No
Knock it
singing.
Seaside rendezvous.
No.
So adorable.
Someone get the
Seaside rendezvous.
Someone get the
Get the
spray
taser.
bottle.
Seaside
Ethan!
rendezvous. Give us a kiss. I told you I'd do it when it came up.
Bad, Inquisitor. Bad.
Knock it off.
I can sing fine. It's all of you who just don't hear it right.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
All right. We smash cut to a black frame that we have to stare at for another 15 seconds before eventually the animator remembers to fade in the title. angel's egg. How long do we enjoy the beauty of the title card, you ask? Look, anytime we're shown something in this movie, please assume that we have to stare at it for a long while in a ponderous, thoughtful silence.
In fact, the first 5 minutes of the film are completely silent. I sat there wondering if my video player was working.
Same.
I checked my audio and subtitles multiple times.
The shitty thing is I started watching it and I knew I needed the subtitled version, but I didn't know if I had the subtitled version or not for the first 5 minutes. So I watched the first 5 minutes and then someone finally speaks and I saw that I wasn't watching the subtitled version. So
my problem was I assumed that it was silent, at first. But so I wasn't sure how loud I had set it, so I cranked the volume way up. So let me tell you, my ears almost ruptured with, "Who are you?" the first time. Oh my God.
And I was absolutely fine because I know how to work things like volumes and subtitles.
And you've watched this piece of shit before.
Oh, show us the...
I did too.
Show us the marvels of technology, oh master illuminator.
It's like trying to teach your mum how to program a video.
Oh, what now?
All right.
Your mom programs videos.
I worked a VCR once, many moons ago.
In a history museum?
Yes.
6 minutes in, and we're only now just getting to the opening credits over this little girl's morning routine. She stuffs the front of her pink-on-pink candy-striped dress with the aforementioned massive egg and sets out across a landscape filled with grassy knolls and weird rock outcroppings.
JFK anywhere nearby?
More black, intimidating skyscapes and suitably sinister vegetation.
I have to believe it really was not a coincidence that this made her look pregnant. I mean, there's symbolism and
Oh, no.
all caps meaning
that is
in this.
Absolutely not a mistake.
Okay, just double checking.
Symbolism.
Right.
Subtlety! Subtlety!
It's not subtext if you put it in all caps.
She contemplates over all of this for another indeterminate time before filling a round bottom flask the size of her head, which she also contemplates. That's some good contemplating right there. Eventually, she drinks the whole goddamn thing, which raises questions about the size of her bladder. There's a shriek and something rushes at her. But fooled you! Nothing exciting is happening. Why would it? Must be something in the water. We're guessing a racehorse grade dose of ketamine?
I have to say, that's the nicest water bottle I've ever seen.
True.
Looks
was
kind of like
very
a
nice.
be practical ever.
It's called a boiling flask or a round bottom flask. It's literally used in chemistry. Like, where the fuck is she finding, like, chem glassware? That shit's expensive.
I learned this from Breaking Bad.
Later on, you will see so much more. So much more.
Oh, yeah.
I bet in an abandoned, chemical weapons factory, since it's all post-apocalyptic.
This movie's so post-apocalyptic you'd think that I would have chosen it, but no.
Yeah. Real.
Hey, where did Andre wander off to?
Looking around at the pretty pictures, I think I'll have a look.
Good doge. Nice doge.
Hey, what's the deal? You find something?
It's so sad, yet so hopeful, yet totally a good boy.
What? This picture of a crying dog?
Doge.
Whatever. It kind of sucks.
Shut your slutty mouth. You just can't appreciate the youth culture of doges, memes, and anime.
Yeah, fine. Whatever. So it's a dog. So what?
Doge? Look, it's simple. Good boy, nice doge, excellent meme.
Much art.
Wow!
Right. Listen, it's not safe to go wandering off. You never know when more cinema assassins could be lurking about.
That's just a sheet draped over a Sibian mounted like a mechanical bull.
Oh, yikes. Well, we're supposed to be talking about this movie.
It's an anime. Actually, it's a pretty important one. We wouldn't have the same anime culture today without it.
And that would be a bad thing.
Yeah, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. You absolutely do not get it. Listen.
All right. I grew up with a lot of anime. I watched Star Blazers, I think was the first thing that I ever watched, which was from Japan, originally Battleship Yamato, I think, or Space Battleship Yamato. And that was pretty awesome. There was also Space Captain Harlock was another one. And then like Robotech blew me out of the water.
Macross.
And that Macross and Robotech are the same goddamn thing.
No, they're not.
Yeah, okay. So Robotech was a combination of a bunch of different anime from Japan that they turned into the Robotech series, but the first series was actually Macross. That idiot back there did get that right. But that was the beginning of my experience to anime, and I guess this is from a similar period. Early, mid-'80s, I mean...
You can definitely see that in the style, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the actual artist was very influential in the realm of video games. The whole, like, villain with the white hair like Sephiroth, and the whole Final Fantasy series, he had a lot of influence on the character designs, I believe. But I don't get where that goes to like memes and your doggies.
Memes? I'm sorry?
Memes, whatever. It's all a bit much for my Gen X mind to take. I
wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.
I kind of instinctually go to whatever. But if you got, what's your take on this?
My take? I mean, like, I'm in a lot of anime adjacent media, but the closest I've ever done is Genshin Impact. Definitely got that 90s anime feel, which admittedly I haven't watched a whole lot of. Gosh, I do think a lot of, even though I haven't seen the whole thing, but like clips of Ghost in the Shell and like all of those fancy effects of the light bouncing around from, not just water, but also other objects, the flowing hair physics.
You're talking about the original Ghost in the Shell, not the Scarlett Johansson remake?
Yes, talking about the actual cartoon.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, no, I can definitely see the influence, but I don't know. With imagery, like, definitely, especially just the way the characters are designed reminds me a lot of just kind of like that, I want to say stoicism especially with our friend with the definitely not cross strapped on his back.
Oh, definitely not cross.
Yeah. But you can definitely see like that setup for the pseudo fantasy genre for anime. And speaking of pseudo fantasy, something like Genshin Impact, which was working on, definitely had that same kind of mystic vibe. Like when I was voicing Halfdan and I don't know I don't know if you've played the game, Zach. But
no. Sorry.
That's okay. It's fine not to have taste, Zach.
I found that, yeah.
But when voicing Halfdan, like there was just this scene where that was the only dialogue that he ever had, but there was this, especially with this particular scene dealing with death and the afterlife, that mysticism and all of those light effects and just that tone really comes through. And I know like everyone's like, oh, there's not a whole lot of dialogue. Neither did Halfdan have a lot of dialogue, but it's making it like count along with that ambiance and reflections off of environmental elements. And you can see the influence pretty darn clearly. And I know everyone's like, oh, there's not a whole lot of dialogue. It's fine. It's fine. Y'all are just used to dialogue. I don't know.
Impatient.
Also rich coming from me being a voice actor, but whatever. Yeah.
I don't know, from a
pop culture perspective, like if Mamoru Oishii is the guy who went on to make Ghost in the Shell, like as a science fiction nerd, that movie was pitched to me as like, if you like Blade Runner, you'll love this, and I definitely loved it. So if this film was, you might say, the egg in which Ghost in the Shell incubated.
No, don't do that.
Nope.
Why?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm starting to worry. Andre's been gone a while.
Yeah, and... Oh, what's that? Oh, no, wait. That's just an ad break. My bad.
Later, the girl crosses a bridge into that cute seaside French town. Now we are in a maze of twisty little passages, all alike. Unfortunately, there isn't a colossal cave nearby, nor are we on an adventure. No.
Not Zurich either, huh? All right.
No, we're somewhere that looks as if Bordeaux had been co-designed by Dr. Seuss and M.C. Escher. Okay. The girl gazes up into the windows of darkened houses and down into basement windows.
Unfortunately, she's not been eaten by a grue by this point in time.
This whole section is creepy as F to me.
Yes. Absolutely.
Can we just get her eaten by a grue so we can move on?
Didn't they have to establish a minimum runtime?
To be a feature, it has to be a minimum of at least 65 minutes.
Knew it.
I don't think Japan has the same issues with runtime.
This is a kid who is presently winning staring contests with empty windows. Said contest is interrupted, however, by the screeching of horrific and very phallic war machines. A line of biomechanical tanks rolls past her down the street.
Very turgid tanks.
Eventually one comes to a stop, and it's the dude with the cape and the mysterious rifle thing. It's not a cross, and he's not Jesus, damn it.
He hops out of the aforementioned steampunk dong.
Allegedly.
Dong tank.
Allegedly. He may be pretty, but the tank itself festers with pulsing, veiny tubes moving with a life of their own.
Dude hops down.
Yeah. Dude hops down off the tank and engages in, what else? A staring contest with the girl until she flounces off to an alley and hunkers down with her pet egg. She eventually runs back out into more rotoscoped Bordeaux streets and eventually fucks off to a shop. Probably a chemist's. A pharmacy for us Yanks. She hunts about for food, but then comes upon another of those giant round flasks she seems so obsessed with. Jackpot, apparently.
What is the thing with the goddamn flasks? I mean,
we'll get to that.
Because there's no kind of symbolism with water. Water and Christ, you know.
Why a flask?
Symbolism. Yeah, what is it? They're supposed to be egg-like or something? Fuck.
Oh no. So
it's a big glass testicle.
So the egg is the egg. The water is the amniotic sac.
But the egg's not in the water.
Anyway, terrifying imagery aside, she arrives at the world's creepiest fountain, trademarked, made up of sinister Lovecraftian fish heads and sea monsters.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, it is surrounded by spectral figures of men in work togs, frozen in place, or maybe they're statues or memories. Ghosts?
Surrounded by spectral figures of men in work togs is good.
This place looks pretty French, so they could be fucking mimes, trademarked. The girl fills up her new prized flask with some water, and then she, wait for it, contemplates through the water-filled flask.
Shock of shocks. Holy shit, more contemplation? I can't fucking wait!
I hope she doesn't drink it, because fountain water can be kind of gross.
I was thinking the same thing. Finally, she seems to conclude that yes, it's just more water.
But is it though?
Oh, thank goodness.
Anybody remember that whole thing about how the study of epidemiology began with cholera and city fountains?
Oh, yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was
everything from the communal water supply.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't stick your filthy hands in the communal water supply.
Yeah. Even as recently as the 1850s, people had still not learned not to shit where you drink.
I mean, they had learned it, but then they forgot it. And then they learned it and forgot it again. Because we don't write shit down.
I don't know if I'd say they had learned it.
I just want to chime in about the tanks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What about the tanks?
Strangely, the thing that bothers me the most about those weird bug-shaped tanks is that they're driving sideways. Why do they do that?
It's not that they're driving sideways, it's that the turrets are pointing sideways, which is a thing that tanks do when they're driving so that they can move closer in together when they're moving in a column.
And then if they accidentally fire, they don't shoot each other.
That too. Yeah, it's to suggest that they're going from one place to another, not like ready for battle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got it.
Thanks for the memories.
Oh, no.
Bonk. All right. Pretty Boy admonishes her to keep precious things inside you or you will lose them. This is probably metaphorical, but it sure feels creepy and vaguely menacing, like that sketchy cousin in the panel van. Pretty Boy follows her from a distance as she demands to know who he is. Reasonably so. She shouts at him not to follow her, but follow her he does. Explain himself, he does not, which does nothing to reduce the similarity to said cousin in the panel van.
Well, wait. Just 1 minute. What is that?
You okay there, Chief?
The fuck is he off to?
I'll go get him. Hold on a moment, guys.
Can't believe I didn't notice it before. It's so compact and rectilinear. It speaks of modernity and power, yet hints at the primal vulnerability of the darkness. It screams, "Let there be light! Let fear be extinguished!"
Well, I mean, I guess.
I never expected to find a piece so deeply transcendent in this place. I must have it! Yeah.
Hey, who's fucking around with the light?
Oh, shit!
You realize it's just the fuse box, right?
It's a metaphor! It's art!
Do you even know what a metaphor is?
Yeah, it's a whore beside a whore. Wait, no, hey, hang on. Let me tell you something about metaphorical representations right after
And now we're in the dark again.
Look, it's a simple story. Man versus nature. Man meets darkness. Man invents electricity to turn off the dark. Man is terrified of what he has become. Man's true nature for destruction and fear asserts itself. Man cannot resist tempting the gods one last time. Man undoes what he hath wrought. It's a tale as old as time.
You talking about Inquisitor Ethan?
Oh, well, in that case, he's just a pompous nutter.
Huh.
I heard that! Oh, I'm not mad at all! Okay, as I was saying, I thought Naked Lunch was the pinnacle of nonsensical, self-indulgent stream of consciousness bullshit, but this movie tops it like a leather daddy at the Folsom Street Fair. I didn't think it was possible for there to be an animated feature with more of a vibe than an actual plot or story than Ralph Bakshi's Wizards, but fucking leave it to Daniel to dredge up an exception that proves me wrong.
You're welcome!
This film felt like a mushroom trip without the feeling of euphoria or the visions of geometric rainbows, just the intense degree of introspection you get when the trip peaks. Wait, no, actually, no. It's like being trapped watching someone else's mushroom trip and watching someone else experience pareidolia and apophenia, which pareidolia means imposing a sense of meaning on something that's otherwise a neutral or nebulous stimuli. Apophenia is seeing deep, meaningful connections between things that are actually totally unrelated. Anyway.
Thank you, Webster's Dictionary.
Continue.
Okay, anyway, this is a movie I would watch on mushrooms for sure, but I would not watch this on acid. But yeah, I feel like you need to take mushrooms to actually enjoy this film, which I could not take in a single sitting.
Sober.
Oh. Yeah, not recommended. I couldn't take it in a single sitting, despite its scant 71-minute runtime. I couldn't even take it in 2 sittings. This movie's only barely over an hour long, and it took me 3 sittings to get all the way through it. And yes, while I'm certain my brain has been remapped by short-form, snackable media served through my smartphone. Christ, I can barely read books anymore. I can and do sit for feature films, provided they're worth sitting for. I wouldn't be in the society if I couldn't sit for feature films, which apparently are a dying art form, or so Gen Z tells me. Andre.
Okay.
But if they are a dying art form, this film probably should be the first one into the grave. I don't know.
They'll be the first against the wall when the revolution comes.
Yes.
Yeah, but maybe we can leave the theatrics and electrics alone and get back to the business at hand.
If we must.
A bell tolls, and the girl runs off again into the cityscape. We catch up with our girl hunkered in an alley, licking purloin jam off her fingers and drinking from her flask as she contemplates the meaning of her jammy fingers. Want to know what jammy fingers mean? They mean you need a fucking spoon. Use a goddamn spoon, kid, I'm telling you. We're 22 minutes into a movie with a 71-minute runtime, and this is what's happening.
I want to mention that if you have misophonia, this is not the film for you. Because I had to mute it at that scene. I was getting icked out. I was about to puke.
Oh, I was about to ask, what is misophonia?
It's when you get really seriously grossed out by noises. Like, you can't stand hearing people chew.
By the sound of people eating.
Yeah. It's not just people eating, but it's mostly people eating. I have that too. I make my husband leave the room. A lot.
No, I have the same problem. Insists on chewing with her fucking mouth open, and like I have had moments where like I've been driven to madness because of it. Yeah. Anyway,
your daddy loves you.
Just doesn't love when you eat pizza. So loud.
Oh my God, Zach. Biomechanical penis tanks are a thing, but spoon technology is sadly neglected in this apocalyptic realm of meaningfulness.
I know the tick would be offended.
Real.
Spoons are just not symbolic enough, I guess.
You tell that to the fucking tick.
Spoon.
I meant for this movie. I didn't mean in general.
I mean in general. I'm talking about the tick. He knows the significance of the spoon. That's his goddamn battle cry.
Lack spirit, chum. You need something more like...
The thing you have to remember is there is no spoon.
Not if you ask the goddamn tick.
I have a purse spoon that I take everywhere so I don't have to use plasticware. I'm saving the earth.
Oh dear God, I hope you wash that regularly.
Yes, I do. Every time I use it. With spit and a napkin.
Spoons. We're done with spoons.
Cool.
Don't tell Iggy Pop.
But wait, this is where it gets interesting. The girl lays her egg down on a blanket and climbs back up to the street to creep on the pretty boy as he contemplates something. It's not like he's been given much else to work with, but surprise! He's ready for her and somehow he's got her egg. My word! Dear Lord, don't look at us like that. We're 22 minutes into a movie with a 71-minute runtime, and this is the best we've got for excitement.
It's a real piece of sleight of egg he pulls there.
Sleight of egg.
She snatches the egg back and is about to fuck right back off again when he asks her what she thinks is in the egg. When she refuses to tell him, he suggests breaking it open to find out.
Oh, what's in the egg? Come on, what's in the egg? It's like the end of Seven.
Yeah.
You didn't have to explain it. We knew where you were going with that.
It's Brad Pitt's wife's head.
That's not what it was.
Are you sure?
No, it's
Could you imagine having? Could you imagine having to stare at that for 30 seconds straight?
It wasn't her head.
But I mean, imagine what's
eyes.
actually in Gwyneth Paltrow's head right now. It's probably worse than whatever's in his head.
It was a dick in a box.
Have you seen Goop? The shit in her head cannot be any crazier than the shit in this movie.
No. It not actually. You can tell there's shots of a little bit of her hair and such. It's her head. But
let me see. This goes over about as well as you can expect. And now she well and truly fucks off into some crazy ruins like a Byzantine palace designed by Hieronymus Bosch. Only Frenchier? Pretty boy follows her from a distance as she demands to know who he is. Reasonably so. She shouts at him not to follow her, but follow her he does. Explain himself, he does not.
Consent be damned.
Which does nothing to reduce the similarity to said cousin in the panel van. Eventually, she stops to take another drink from her precious crappy Erlenmeyer flask. She offers him a drink, but he declines. Can't say as I blame him. She's staring at him like she just chugged back a pint of raw ether, which is to say like a drunk in an early Irish novel.
Hey, will you be staring at my egg? Do you want to fight, you bastard? With your cross and your great hair.
It's all about efficiency, man. Just gotta get drunk as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Aye.
I had to throw in a Hunter Thompson reference somewhere.
Real.
Hey, did you guys hear something? Like the ominous sounds of shadow people silently gathering to silently do, like, bad, silent shit?
Oh crap, not you too.
Look out!
Is that a knife?
What? Where?
In his chest.
What? Oh dear.
Sounded too loud.
Oh, grief. I take it back.
Where's it all coming from?
Over there, by that extremely significant trademark looking water fountain.
No, behind the consequential trademark coffee bar.
Don't they have to run out of knives at some point?
They look more like spikes. Symbolic spikes.
Trademark.
Wait.
Stop thinking, man, and get in the fight.
Up there on the meaningful mezzanine. Trademark.
My fellow picturevationists, ask not what your society can do for you, but what you can do for your society. This great chapter will endure as it has endured. We'll tribune and we'll pontificate. The only thing we have to fear is fear
and surprise.
Right, and this Inquisition.
What the fuck? I am a Inquisitor.
Come get some!
We shall defend our society, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight them on the exposition. We shall fight on the plot hooks. We shall fight among the protagonists and the cameos. We shall fight in the climax and the end credits. We shall never surrender.
I'm not sure that's gonna work. They seem more figurative than figures, made of subtext.
It doesn't mean.
It do mean.
These are no normal beings of flesh and blood.
Still fuck them up, though, right?
These are metaforcers. They are far too meaningful and vague to be fought with conventional weapons.
But I love conventional weapons. What are we supposed to do?
How about we leg it?
Motion carried. We'll meet in the Hall of Vases past the tapestry ring.
But if we head that way, won't we miss the antique brassware mezzanine?
Fuck the antique brassware mezzanine.
Sentence I wasn't expecting to hear today.
But what about...
They can take care of themselves.
Oh, right. And Scrutinizer Zachariah?
Run!
Run!
Wait for me!
Fuck you.
That episode of the Cinemania Society featured Daniel Scribner, Andy Slack, Andrea Palladino, Zachariah Burks,
Andre Martinez, Hope Bravo,
and Ethan Ireland. Written by Andy Slack and Daniel Scribner. Produced, mixed, and mastered by Ethan Ireland. Graphic design by Andy Slack. Music by Carl Casey at Whitebat Audio. Visit our website at thecinemaniasociety.podbean.com and check out our social media feeds. We're on Twitter at TCS_Cinemania. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review wherever you found us. Mention us on social media, or find us on Ko-Fi to throw us a few bones. We love to make fun stuff for folks, but it isn't free. Anything and everything helps. Coming soon, the Cinemania Society will be creating pieces of video media, short films and the like, so stay tuned, Cinemaniacs. The Cinemania Society is a production of the Cinemania Society, LLC,